Hey, what's up everybody? You're probably wondering why I'm doing this by audio instead of by video. Well, I want to talk about, I want to talk about a subject that a lot of people have been talking about since this past Thursday after watching Impact and everything. I mean, everybody from fans to marks to wrestling insiders to Baltimore Sun, Bleacher Report, anybody's been talking about this. And that is the TNA, and that is the fact that TNA is giving their Hard Justice pay-per-view to the ECW originals to have, as it's being dubbed, one last stand in the ring and kind of showcase what ECW was really about. Now, there are some that agree that this is a good idea, seeing as though TNA's pay-per-view numbers have not been that good. While others have been saying that it's not a good idea and that TNA and that these ECW originals, especially Tommy Dreamer, should leave well enough alone. The reason they say this is because, they've had enough one-night stands and enough reunion shows that I guess they feel it's unnecessary to do another one-night stand, another reunion show. Well, I will agree on the fact that it might help TNA's ratings, buy rates, pay-per-view wise, but let me explain in my own theory why this is happening. You see, back in 2005, when WWE did One Night Stand, which was supposed to be, as many people point out, even Tommy Dreamer mentioned this, and even if it was a work or not, or partial work, mentioned this, that One Night Stand was supposed to bring closure to the ECW legacy. And this also could be said for Hardcore Homecoming, which occurred that same year. Hardcore Homecoming had two pay-per-views that year. Had one in the summer, just around the same time as One Night Stand, which was sort of an internet-based pay-per-view. And then they had a pay-per-view or internet-based pay-per-view again back in November with November Rain. Now the reason these shows, according to many, should have already brought closure is because they were done. The former extremists got the opportunity to shine and show what ECW was really about. But there was a problem. You see, the way I look at it about this whole thing with TNA is the fact that what they want to do, what Tommy Dreamer wants to do, along with these fellow ECW alumni, is do a reunion the way it was supposed to be. And that means no separate reunions, no separate independent deals, no separate big corporation things or anything like that, but one final reunion with everybody, and I mean everybody that made ECW what it is as a part of it. That's why this is happening, to give everyone that made ECW what it is one last shot together, not separate, together. I mean, it's kind of like this. Put yourself in the shoes of some of the put yourself in the shoes of people like Tommy Dreamer and Raven and Stevie Richards. I mean, let me put it to you like this: do you not think Tommy Dreamer would have not liked to wrestle Raven at One Night Stand 5 years ago? Do you think he would have wanted that instead of teaming up with the Sandman and facing the Dudleys, which was a great match? Do you think he would not wanted that? He would have. And this gives him that opportunity to go out the way he wants to. Now, I don't know exactly how TNA is going to deal with this whole thing storyline-wise when it comes to Bischoff and Hogan. I don't know. I mean, Hogan might be storyline-wise more supportive of it, because it's letting these guys go out the way they want to go out, or let the company finally go out the way it should go out. But Bischoff, on the other hand, could be played as the guy in the storyline that, will support it, but it's not really sure if Dixie made the right decision. That's the way I look at Bischoff. Like, he's kind of like, man, basically he's got his hands tied, but he really doesn't trust the decision that Dixie made. So, but anyway, that's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it. The way I look at it is the fact that this is one last opportunity for the ECW originals, all of them together, not separate, but together, to go out with a bang. That's the reason I think TNA is doing this. Now, if it continues on after this and helps establish a TNA Hardcore title, I guess more power to them. I don't know. But that's why this is happening. And Spinnernet, J-Dub, anybody that's talked about this, people at the Bleacher Report, Baltimore Sun, if you don't understand it yet, now you do. Everybody here at YouTube, if you're a wrestling fan, if you've been an ECW fan for a long time, if you don't understand it, now you do. This is why it's happening, so that all, and I mean all, of the ECW originals can go out together, can finally together give the company that made them who they are a real grand send-off. I mean, let's not forget, their last show wasn't even televised. ECW, the original ECW's last show, wasn't even televised. It was a house show. It was a live event. And that was it. Nothing more. So this is basically a way for TNA to give back to these guys, and basically a way for Tommy Dreamer and, as I said, all these ECW alumni together, not separate, but together, to give their company, ECW, one final send-off. Now, again, I don't know exactly what role Hogan will play in it. I'm pretty sure Hogan will be the guy that's like supportive of it, maybe. And I'm not sure how Bischoff is going to feel. Again, I think Bischoff's going to be in the role of, he may try to stop it, or may try to work a way for TNA stars to be a part of it. He may be the kind of guy that looks at everybody and says, hey, look, or looks at the TNA stars and says, hey, look, I can't do anything. My hands are tied. And basically tells them the truth is, I don't really trust this decision. Who knows? And the reason I think he may be in that kind of a role is because he might be the kind of guy, or maybe portrayed in the storyline as the kind of guy that's like, these ECW guys may want more. Who knows? But again, for those that don't understand, J-Dub, Spinnernet, anybody else here at YouTube, anybody at the Bleacher Report, Baltimore Sun, everywhere else, this is a way for everybody that made ECW, all the ECW alumni that are still wrestling, that are still alive today, to finally give ECW the proper send-off that it deserves, and they want, and this is basically a way for them to do it together, not separate with separate reunion shows, but together. So that's just my take on it. You got any other opinions, let me know, but that's how I feel about it. That's the way I look at it, and I'll talk to y'all later.